This is one of my favorite Batman movies, and definitely one of the best Suicide Squad and / Batman adaptation. So, after Amanda Waller toys was a joke and by time before this isn't just enough time for them to track his location and bring him in, because he went AWOL from Amanda Waller, who is the CEO of Task Force that's also known as Suicide Squad. So Batman interferes of bringing in Riddler by beating up Man Wallace's men and beating the shit out of them. And because he outsmarted them in getting to Riddler first before they got to the Riddler. So while they were taking their time tracking the Riddler, while Man Wallace was buying time to find what his location was by answering stupid riddles that a child would make up. And turns out she's been cheating at answering the riddle because she has Google like everyone else. She says she hasn't heard of one. She just Googled it. She's Googling the riddle. So Riddle decides to attempt to kill a man. I attempt to do something, like shut her off or kill her. I'm not sure, but anyway, something happens. Batman intervenes because, while at the same time, a man's wall team, because who is the Bureau. Batman intervenes and beats the shit out of the squad and takes the Riddler to Arkham. Then it's up to the Suicide Squad to go and kill the Riddler while playing yesterday's footage, which was Killer Croc's idea. It was King Shark's idea. I'm sorry, I get the names mixed up sometimes because it's so big and muscular. And that's the one good idea that King Shark came up with for the team, that benefits the team. And he was playing yesterday's footage, and then Batman figures out that something wrong got Arkham and follows the trail comes that the Suicide Squad left behind at the mess at Arkham. And they decide to play yesterday's footage of Arkham once they find out that the reason why Marijuana wants her dead is because he knows how to deactivate the bombs that are planted inside their skull. The Suicide Squad team skull. Yeah, apparently Riddler was a Suicide Squad man, and I guess he went AWOL and fried the circuit so his head wouldn't blow up. And he's been toying with Wall for payback on riddles, just to get payback. And she tracked his location, Batman put him in Arkham because he beat up Wall's men, and now he figured out that it's yesterday's footage before a Man of Waller figured out that that's yesterday's footage that's been playing. So Batman knows that something's wrong on Arkham, something's up with Arkham, something's wrong at Arkham, so he goes straight to Arkham with not a moment to hesitate after trying to, he's in the middle of trying to find the Riddler's bomb that he planted several bombs, turns out, in Gotham City. And Batman's trying to deactivate all of them while the Suicide Squad members are trying to get the devices fried that are in their skull that is explosive, and to try to screw Mantle over. how this is done by finding the devices. Well, shock treatment, basically. Nothing other than shock treatment for in Arkham Asylum. So Riddler hooks every Suicide Squad member except for one, and this is after Batman supposedly got killed by that Suicide Squad member off screen, but he's quieter and acting more strange. He's more strange than usual, and can just tell that is Batman dressing up as that character. And Batman switch his clothes because when Batman's head blows, it's this guy in the Batman suit that is a Suicide Squad member, and Batman switch his clothes. And this happens in the middle when they find out. That Wall finds out that before the Suicide Squad member finds out what goes wrong with their plan, is that this guy needed medical attention in the death of the other Suicide Squad, so he used that as a good excuse, saying they needed medical attention. And then she starts to say that's funny because she's not anywhere near them, because he's in Batman's costume, trying to get back to the team, so his head doesn't blow up. Because if you go rogue, you get caught, or you get blow up by Amanda Waller. And Amanda Waller figures out when the things and the devices in the head start going crazy. And she figures those assholes are trying to fuck me over. You don't fuck with the Waller. She delivers the line and presses the explosive when it's supposed to blow up all their heads, but only King Shark gets blown up, and the one that wasn't attached to, which King Shark had attached to all these electrical wires like the rest of the Suicide Squad members except for one, and him and the other Suicide Squad member, his head gets blown up because they don't know why. And Riddler doesn't know why, and they ask him to try again, and he says, "I don't know what's going on. That should have worked. Maybe he has a sixth neck." And Riddler is really clueless. He doesn't have any idea. He's not kidding. He just guessed that he has a sixth neck. So King Shark gets blown up and dead. And remember when I said that one of the Suicide Squad members got switched places with Batman, including their clothes, because they got knocked out? Oh, well, that head gets blown up also. And it is revealed that, and Riddler figures out that why the only one that wasn't attached to the electrodes, which is used to with the electro devices, why he didn't got a single zap of electricity, and he said he was going to keep watch, and yet his head didn't blow up. And Riddler starts laughing. Oh my god! You gotta be kidding me! And they're looking at him, wondering what's so funny. And Alquin actually asks it, "What's so funny, Kevin? Can't you see the most obvious riddle? It's none other than Batman dressing up as your comrade." He basically says. Because he's such funny, he runs from because Batman didn't die and wasn't killed off by a Suicide Squad, member, or knocked out, didn't die or killed off by a Suicide Squad member. He was just knocked unconscious, because you see Batman limping, but it's revealed it's the guy that is a Suicide Squad member that's wearing Batman's clothes, and Batman's wearing his superhero clothes underneath somehow of the Suicide Squad member clothes. I guess I can buy the mask, but well, he only wears a mask. He only shows the mask. So I mean, he's just wearing the mask and wearing nothing else but the mask. So, and then the Joker, after the Joker escapes from his prison cell in Arkham, when more than half of the security has died by the hands of the Joker and the Suicide Squad. Joker's not on the Suicide Squad. He's doing his own thing and trying to kill Deadshot for stealing his squeeze, as in his girlfriend that he had an abusive relationship with, where he was the abusive one. They had a one-night stand, Harley Quinn and Deadshot, but that's all it was. They didn't really connect like Harley Quinn connected to Deadshot. So she ends up backstabbing the team and goes with the Joker, and so it'll be like old times. So, because this is when, after Deadshot rejects Harley Quinn's feelings, and Batman makes a escape through the window before the Suicide Squad kill him for basically outsmarting them after they get the explosive disarm through electricity. But not actually without kicking ass in the process, and probably causing some serious bad head injuries from all that heavy punching in people's heads. The Suicide Squad was wondering what the hell is Quinn doing, and Batman tries to talk some sense into Quinn, but she's not hearing any of it. So basically, a massacre starts happening, and the only way to stop the massacre is if they release all of the prisoners from Arkham Asylum that are the most dangerous people in Gotham City. And as a distraction so they can get to the chopper and make their escape through before Amanda Waller's team gets there, and before Batman gets them. While using the distraction for Batman and Amanda Waller's team, and the GCPD stands for the Gotham Police Department. Jim Gordon also makes a cameo in this film for a brief moment, and Batman interacts with him and tells him what's going on, and Batman can kind of guess this is a distraction, so he fights through the crowd without taking not taking the whole team, the whole inmates back into Arkham, and leave that to the GCPD. And he goes after the real target, which is Joker and Harley Quinn, and Harley has the bomb in her mallet, the final bomb, and the Suicide Squad and Jokers and Harley Quinn and Batman crash planes while crashing heads. The plane crash. The chopper exploded because the one stopped navigating it, as in guiding it. So the Suicide Squad is in, so he can go after the Joker and kill the son of a bitch. And meanwhile, Batman parks his Batwing, known as the Bat, which is a plane but he calls it Batwing. And by crash landing it, really rough. So he finds out that the bomb, when he finds the bomb is in Holly's mallet, and Holly doesn't even know it, and he decides to try this on while Joker and Deadshot are going head to head and trying to kill each other. And fuck. I forgot to pop the climax. Fuck me. Joker supposedly dies from a fall after Deadshot supposedly kills him, but they never found his body, so there's a chance that he's still alive. Well, hints is that a sequel with Batman animation form, and this takes place in the Arkham franchise, the Arkham video games. Except unlike the video game, this actually has good characters and good writing and a competent story with relatable characters. Even though they don't, even the ones that have shady agendas you can't really trust, like Amanda Waller, who gets killed off by Deadshot with a sniper while her daughter's playing with her teddy bear. Because he just said he was going to kill Amanda Waller in the opening first few minutes of the film, more than twice, and because he was pissed because he kind of got screwed over by Amanda Waller, and he just said if he tries screwing him over, he'll screw her over back. To Amanda Waller, he said that, and he wasn't bluffing. And this isn't the first time that Harley Quinn and Deadshot did the Suicide Squad team in this continuity, because you can tell because Harley delivers this line, not this shit again. And Deadshot's so great, not again. He has this look on him, oh great. You really Hurley again? Like, and the whole Suicide Squad, this is ridiculous. This is after they all get Suicide Squad, gets kidnapped while they're doing their own thing, and gets implanted explosive in their head if Waller feels trigger happy enough, and if they give them good enough reasons to blow up their heads. As in if they don't obey orders or try screwing Waller over, which they did. So that's the whole thing of, I did remember the climax of, and Batman defuses the bomb while Joker and Deadshot were going at it, and Joker gets killed off by Deadshot supposedly, and he just goes out laughing like a crazy person, like the Joker he is from the comics. And and also Captain Boomerang gets invited to the Suicide Squad a party again by against his own will. And so he after he gets fed up with Deadshot's attitude by the third act, it was kind of heading at those that they were going at it for each other's throats throughout the rack structure. So it's only fitting that they have a fight with each other and Deadshot wins. Obviously, because he's Captain Boomerang, he's just a jackass that throws boomerangs. That's what his personality is in the comics. A likable jackass, but still a jackass. you find yourself more laughing at him because he's a jackass whenever he gets his ass handed to him. And Deadshot shows him no mercy. The only Batman, Deadshot, who is the second main character next to the main character next to Batman, doesn't hold his punches at all and decides to cross that line of murder because he's okay with it. When Batman does sees that the murder is what separates him between the criminals of Gotham, the corrupt souls. But he sees redemption in each one of them because that's why he keeps on putting them in Arkham Asylum. Because he also does that because he's trying to save that what's left of the little angry 8-year-old boy that saw his parents got murdered in front of his eyes, got gunned down in an alley, and blah blah. Yeah. Too bad I can't really say for Batman a live adaptation because they never done that for a psychological, dark, twisted take on Batman in live action, in movie form. Like never, ever. I mean, they did that in the 40s, 1943, in 1949. But those were serials, and they're more like, those serials are like, basically like limited time TV shows brought to the big screen. Sort of like mini-series that are still going on today, which is a real thing in 2020, on digital instead of theaters. Or like a regular TV show that lasts for a small amount of time, which is less than 3 seasons. And anyway, Batman takes off before Mantle gets sniped down in the head, and Deadshot delivers this line, bang. When Wall knows that Wall gives us gives us look like she knows she's screwed. And Batman warns her, saying there isn't going to be a next time Waller. I'm guessing, this is just a guess, but I'm guessing he saw that sniper going to Wall's head, and he decided to won't listen to reason or why it's wrong, so just let someone that is a killer die. Decide someone that is a killer, which is Deadshot, and let Amanda Walters die. I'm guessing because how he delivers the sign. He says, "I'm warning you," and he says, and the wall says, hints at the sequel, saying they never recovered Joker's body. He's probably still alive, and Batman just disappears, and Deadshot, or Sniper, appears on Waller's head when she calls Batman, after she calls Batman a punk, and turns around in her chair, and she sees the sniper, and she knows she's screwed, and it doesn't show her getting murdered, but it does show the gun, it does show him delivering this line, and then literally ending with the sniper going off, while it's aimed, after it's aimed, showed as aimed at the Wall's head, because it is a PG-13 movie, so I'm guessing the wouldn't not, because this is PG-13 movie it is, so that's probably why they didn't show her getting shot in the head, but they showed Justice League, the New Frontier movie, of a guy pulling a trigger in his mouth, but that's also PG-13, I think. Let me I'm trying to find it. I have it somewhere in my collection, but I just can't remember where I put it. Maybe this is one of the movies. Maybe it's one of the movies I was working on fixing. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, here it is. I mean, repairing the scratches. I have a machine that repairs scratches. And, yeah, it's PG-13. And, so I guess this is one of the films when they're holding the audience hands a little when it gets to the third. At least that's what it feels like to me when it gets. It's somewhere holding the audience hands, but while letting them go at the same time, and not holding audience hands, somewhere in between, and that balance. So, but other than that, I give it other than that, sure, the rating it doesn't justify it being a PG-13 movie, really, because you know it's. You feel like at certain points it's holding the audience hand because they might be too nervous of what could happen, or squeamish as in nervous, you know. Overall, even though it might, like most ratings for this film, and that says next year, and the last 5 years, starting next